I'm Andre Hugh and welcome to this edition of the SKN Newsline Newscast. Health authorities will employ vaccination of children once a vaccine becomes available. And with the increased risk of the Delta variant of the COVID-19 virus entering the Federation, authorities are looking at reaching a higher number of vaccinated persons. SKN Newsline's Glenn Bart reports.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws said a higher level of vaccination is ideal, especially with the threat that the COVID-19 Delta variant poses. With that threat, the CMO, Dr. Laws, indicated that the vaccination of children will be pursued if an appropriate vaccine becomes available. However, the CMO indicated that there is still a substantial number of persons of the adult targeted population who have not taken the AstraZeneca vaccine that is currently available at health centers around St. Kitts and Nevis.
Vaccine hesitancy is very real. We have about another 10,000 adults to reach in terms of coming on board in terms of accepting the vaccine. So I want to use this opportunity or this forum to reach those individuals who are still waiting and looking. All the data points to the unvaccinated as being the vulnerable individuals. The virus is reaching those persons who are unvaccinated. And so we are imploring you to come on board and accept the vaccine. And so, yes, we have a number of variants in circulation. In St. Kitts, we have the Lambda variant, and we are at risk of being exposed to the Delta variant, and in terms of the coverage. So our initial target is the adults, which comprise about 70% of our population. Now, if the Federation has access to the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which has been authorized for children 12 to 17 years, we can then even target the teenagers, and so by extension even increase our coverage beyond the 70%. So we are also looking at that.
Health authorities have indicated that efforts continue to source additional vaccines for the COVID-19 vaccination program, viewed as the main tool to stabilize the economy while protecting citizens and residents. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
The Nevis Island Assembly on Tuesday passed a bill that seeks to provide an adequate solid waste management structure to protect the environment and the overall public health of Nevis. More in this report. The public on Nevis can expect some sweeping changes when the Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority Bill 2021 takes effect shortly. The bill, which repeals and replaces the 19-year-old existing Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority Ordinance legislation, was passed at a sitting of the Nevis Island Assembly on Tuesday, July 13th. It addresses issues including the unauthorized disposal of solid waste, the prohibition on the importation of waste, the appointment of litter wardens, and the management of vacant land. Hazel Williams, Junior Minister of Health, who tabled the bill, noted that under Section 28 of Part 4, Waste Management Licenses and Permits, dealing with the unauthorized disposal of solid waste, no one should deposit or knowingly cause to be deposited solid waste in or on any waste land, beach, foreshore, marine waters, rivers, or river banks.
We have seen that we have outgrown our present site. And so disposal at some point in time, Mr. President, becomes inadequate. We have experienced low collection rates, and we have also been faced with indiscriminate disposal all around the country. And so we have come to tighten up on these areas and to manage all the other challenges that we have at the authority. A person shall not deposit or knowingly cause to be deposited solid waste in or on any land, beach, foreshore, marine, waters, rivers, or river banks. Any person who contravenes subsection 1 of this section or any condition of a waste management license commits an offense and shall be liable upon conviction. In the case of an individual, to a fine not less than $25,000. but not exceeding $50,000.
However, opposition member of the Nevis Island Assembly, Cleone Stapleton Simmons, raised some questions about the legislation. She accused the Nevis Island administration of presenting legislation without dealing with the solid waste infrastructure.
What really are the concrete plans to deal with the mountain of waste that is presently growing and increasing at the dump site? Is there any plans to recover any recyclable material? What about the area outside the solids waste, which material has been pushed into the sea? And a number of persons living in the area have been complaining about the waste pollution that is directly deriving from the solid waste space. We know the dump site is almost a tower high, where garbage expend through winds, particularly when we have high winds, and they dissipate all over the country in the surrounding areas. Let us not talk about the flies, Mr. President, but that's another matter. And so here it is that we are coming to put a legislative framework in place, but we have no plans. We have not laid out any plans for the infrastructure development.
When a litter removal order is issued and the offender fails to comply with the terms of the order, the litter warden may make arrangements for the cleaning of the vacant land and recover the expenses incurred in cleaning up the land as a civil debt owing to the Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority in the Magistrates Court in Charlestown. I'm Andre Huey reporting for SKN Newsline. Still to come, rape reports have declined during the 24-hour lockdown, but police calls for more to be done in the era of domestic violence. Elliot's Funeral Parlor is the first licensed embalmer in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a friendly and professional staff. At Elliot's Funeral Parlor, we offer a wide range of packages from $6,500. Homegoing service at chapel, locally made caskets, tailoring of outfit for deceased of your choice, wake, overnight with slideshow, funeral, death announcement, obituary, booklets, family pin-ons, memorial books, preparation of funeral arrangements, wreath, fresh and artificial. For further information, call 469-3298, 664-2007 or 660-0186. Elliot's Funeral Parlor in Gingerland, Nevis. Dedicated to those we serve.
When you need electronics or appliances, find just what you want quickly in one location. Yes, everything's under one roof. Only at Smart Electronics. We have tons of name brands, amazing service, and easy layaway plans. Summer is just around the corner, and we will save you the hassle of walking around town or going to St. Martin. We have everything you need right here in St. Kitts, so don't get confused and go different places. We are located at Port Zonte opposite the food court. Visit us today, or if you have any questions, you can call 466-4271. Smart Electronics, way to live a smart life. Terms and conditions apply.
Where will we go when the quarantine thing done and everybody touch?
An open interactive event can be described as
tremendous, effective,
on par with any conference around the world.
From exhibitions to trade shows, corporate events to product launches, from press events to political functions. We are the secret sauce behind events that make you go, wow. We've staged multiple world-class events in the Caribbean and developed the skill to deliver quality in every detail, whether the event is live or fully virtual, or maybe even somewhere in between. At Open Interactive, we got your events covered. Get your free quotation today at www.madebyopen.com.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car.
Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one.
Welcome back. Application forms for the new round of COVID-19 related assistance should be ready by the end of the week, the Financial Secretary of the Governor St. Kitts and Nevis disclosed. Glenn Bart reports.
COVID-19 affected workers will soon have access to the application form for the new round of assistance under the Income Support Program, according to the Financial Secretary of the Government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Financial Secretary Hilary Hazel said the Ministries of Finance and of Social Development are finalizing the application process and the forms will be available on various government websites as early as 16th July.
Currently, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Social Development are collaborating to complete the administrative arrangements for rollout of this initiative. The application form for this initiative should be ready by the end of this week, and the forms would be available on the Ministry of Finance's website, other government websites such as those for the SKNIS, and forms for this part of the initiative would be returned to the Ministry of Social Development, whilst the forms relating to the Income Support Program.
According to the Financial Secretary, unemployed persons under the Poverty Alleviation Program can receive an additional $500 from the Income Support Program, and self-employed persons registered with the Social Security Board can receive assistance from the ISP. Government employees of statutory corporations, persons in the STEP program, and persons who have received $15,000 or more in severance payments since March 2020 are not included for assistance under the Income Support Program. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
While the police are reporting a decline in rape reports during the lockdown period, they are calling on policymakers to amend the Domestic Violence Act of 2014 in an effort to better assist victims across the Federation. More from SK Newsline's Jacinthia Teixeira.
The Special Victims Unit (SVU) of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force is reporting a decline in rape reports during the 24-hour lockdown of the country. Head of the SVU, Detective Sergeant Rogers, who was a guest on the government radio program Working for You, indicated that there has been no increase in rape cases across the Federation over the previous period of COVID-19 restrictions.
We don't really have an increase of rapes, but we do have some sexual offense cases, such as unlawful carnal knowledge. We have a few indecent assaults under investigation, and we just have a couple of rape. The most recent one was last week.
Detective Sergeant Rogers further indicated that some of the processes currently in place to assist victims of sexual offenses are affected due to the costs attached. She further urged policymakers to amend the Domestic Violence Act of 2014 in an effort to better assist victims across the Federation. The Special Victims Unit also worked closely with certain stakeholders such as the Department of Probation and Child Protection Services when there are juvenile-related matters, and the Department of Gender Affairs when there are cases of gender-based violence. I am Jacinthia Teixeira for SKN Newsline.
When we come back, more on the investigations of the assassination of the Haitian president.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
It's the new and improved SKN Newsline Android mobile app. With the SKN Newsline app, you can watch your news reports, the SKN Newsline Newscast, sports, special features, and so much more. You can also send us a WhatsApp or call us directly. Go in the Google Play Store, search SKN Newsline, and download the app today. The SKN Newsline mobile app. News on the go. Welcome back. On the regional scene, one of the Haitian-American suspects arrested in the connection with the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse had worked as an informant for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA. More from MSNBC.
Well, the latest on the ground is that police have issued wanted posters for 3 individuals. One is a convicted drug trafficker with ties to South Florida. The other one is a former senator, and the other one is a former government worker. So police said that they are dangerous and armed, and they are searching for them.
Do we have anything solid yet, or any good leads from your reporting on the motive for all of this?
No, we're still trying to figure out the motives, and we're still trying to put together the pieces. I mean, when you look at, for instance, Christian Sanon, the doctor who was arrested, the third Haitian American in this case, when you see him on paper, he's filed for bankruptcy, he has $400,000 in debt, and Haitian officials have said this was a multi-million-dollar operation. So how does somebody who's deeply in debt can afford such an expensive, assassination?
And who specifically would want a group or a person to come in and take over a government that faces so many challenges, economic, social, and otherwise?
Well, the translators, the 2 Haitian Americans who turned themselves in, they said that the mission was not to kill the president, but it was to serve an arrest warrant on him, take him to the palace, and then install a new provisional president, which is supposed to have been Sanon. What happened? What went wrong? And were they indeed the shooters in this case? That's what we all want to know, and that's what we're working on.
So the question is whether this was a botched attempt to bring the president into custody, or whether one in such a group might have had his own ideas.
Well, no, Haitians are asking themselves whether or not these individuals were indeed the ones who assassinated the president, or was it a setup? I mean, that's what they're asking themselves. I've said to the police chief just days ago, listen, these guys are saying that they were not there to kill the president. They didn't kill the president. And he says, no, their mission was to kill the president. And on Sunday, he announced that their mission was to provide security. And at some point, that mission changed. When did it change? Why did it change? We want to know the answers to that.
The concern now, of course, is for calm across the country. Do you have a sense for where that's going?
I have to tell you, I've been here since day one. People were in shock, but every day life is starting to come back. But of course, we have to remember that this is a country that was dealing with so many problems. There's a COVID, surge that's going on. There's an armed gang. Haitians, they want answers, and they're trying to resume their lives. But tomorrow will be 1 week since this happened, and we're just waiting to see what happens day by day.
Well, Jacqueline, I can't thank you enough for the reporting there on the ground. The best to you and your colleagues at the Miami Herald.
The tourism sector in Antigua and Barbuda is getting ready for the return of cruise tourism later this week. ABS TV reports.
Not a layup, but a full-fledged cruise ship arrival coming soon to Heritage Key and Falmouth Harbor.
On Thursday of this week, we will be welcoming Windstar, one of the vessels from the Windstar fleet. That would be the Star Breeze. She's expected here at 8 o'clock in the morning. And the great thing about it is that she's going to be making a 2-port call. So she's going to be calling on St. John's as well as Falmouth Harbor.
In order to ensure all protocols can be safely implemented, Antigua Cruise Port's General Manager Donna Regis Prosper adds it will be a measured start.
Our numbers are looking at about 250 passengers. And Windstar Cruises is known for being a very high-end cruise. And we're expecting that a percentage of those passengers would disembark the vessel. The cruise line has made a decision that because it's still early days and we're in an active pandemic, only those passengers who are taking organized tours would be the ones that are going to disembark the vessel for the first few calls.
The public can be assured that added to the government's stance on encouraging vaccination for those who work in the cruise sector, Antigua Ports has been working assiduously to ensure this return is a safe one.
From the time we shut down, we've been planning for this restart because we believe in the resilience of this industry. So as a company, we, as a port operator, we never went on pause. We continue to be very much in tune with the industry, in touch with the cruise ship operators to find out exactly how things are going to change. And it continues to change and evolve. So preparation is not only the physical getting the port ready, but also understanding the industry.
Regis Prosper is upbeat about not only this imminent start, but the calendar ahead, she says, looks promising.
It's looking good. When we look beyond the summer, as I said, we're starting off in this modest way. But as we get into the fall, October, November, December, our numbers are climbing. But all things being equal, on a positive side, we see our numbers getting very, very close to 2019 by the time we get to the month of December this year.
Seabourn Odyssey will be next in line as she makes her call next Tuesday.
Shanakisha Francis reporting for ABS News.
On the international scene, emergency crews in the United States are battling to contain dozens of wildfires burning across 10 western states. Thousands of people have been moved from their homes. More from Al Jazeera.
This wildfire season is breaking records in the U.S. Dozens of fires are raging in western states, with more than 340,000 hectares burned in recent days. In California, a state known for its many wildfires, the amount of land burned has more than tripled since last year.
The fire was moving so fast and so hot, it was exploding spot fires ahead of it, way ahead of it, like a gunshot.
This fire near the Arizona-Utah border is one of many that's closed highways and roads. Scientists say severe droughts and the climate crisis are fueling extreme temperatures. The Bootleg fire in Oregon is the largest blaze. An area twice the size the city of Portland is in flames, and it's disrupting power transmission lines to California. Thousands of people across many states have been evacuated.
We got out in time. I looked in my rearview mirror and the flames passed over the road and headed down my driveway and burned both sides of my property.
In Oregon, heat-related deaths are also on the rise. Many have died alone in their homes, with temperatures reaching 46 degrees.
Over the last year, we have prepared for a surge in deaths because of COVID-19. And a year ago, we were just emerging from restrictions, and honestly, it never crossed my mind then that we would see a wave of deaths from heat as we have these last few weeks.
The extreme conditions pose yet another challenge for emergency crews.
We have to be very careful about where we insert crews to make sure they don't get trapped.
And with fires burning across several states, concerns are growing as the fire season isn't over yet. Katia Lopez-Odoyan, Al Jazeera.
At least 70 people have died and more than 1,200 people have been arrested after days of riots and looting across South Africa. Al Jazeera's Famida Miller reports from Johannesburg, South Africa.
A fifth day of looting and riots grip Alexandra Township in the north of Johannesburg. Police struggle to keep people away, but those temporarily deterred by rubber-coated bullets and tear gas return within minutes. Hours later, soldiers are deployed. They apprehend a group of men they suspect of shooting at them, searching for guns and other weapons. With the army on the street, these business owners say they feel safe to return to see what they've lost. They find their stores gutted by looting and fires.
This time I can't believe it. I'm 40 years in this country, but I can't believe it has happened like that.
In other parts of the Gauteng province, there's also been extensive looting. Stores at this mall in Diepkloof in Soweto have been entirely ransacked. There's nothing left.
And now soldiers and police have been deployed to places just like this to try and protect whatever little is left and also keep looters away. But preventing the looting in many areas in Johannesburg has proven difficult and appears to be impossible to stop. Here, grocery stores, a butcher's shop, banks and ATMs are completely destroyed. Security guards say they tried to keep looters away as they waited for the police, but it was too late. Smat Shabe worked at this food outlet.
Now I'm angry because what am I supposed to do from now? Where am I gonna get paid? Where is my salary gonna come from? Because this is my livelihood. How am I gonna support my family? Because of this. And the criminals that have been rampaging these places, and the police were nowhere to be seen.
With riots and the disruption of services in the Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal provinces, there are concerns people will run out of food. There are many unhappy with the destruction.
I don't know where am I going to buy food. I don't know. As you can see, that it's bad. And as the situation, people are not working, but this is not the solution.
The protests that began after the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma have now escalated to riots linked to increasing poverty and inequality. South Africa has been under varying stages of COVID-19 lockdown for more than a year. Worsening unemployment, already at 32%, has fueled anger and resentment at a government that is struggling to cope. Famida Miller, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.
Join us now for our sports roundup. A high percentage of the 241 persons who will be coming to St. Kitts and Nevis to work on the Caribbean Premier League tournament are vaccinated, assured CPL Tournament Operations Director Michael Hall. He was speaking in an interview with SK Newsline Wednesday, where he assured that plans for the tournament are progressing well.
We have our own testing regime within our secure bubble, which is that everyone is tested on arrival. They're tested again on day 3, and they're tested again on day 7. So even the vaccinated persons who, by law in St. Kitts and Nevis, will be free to move about after 3 days, we are still going to keep everyone in our biosecure bubble for the duration of the tournament. Because at the end of the day, while we're excited to have the tournament take place in St. Kitts and Nevis, the ultimate goal is to keep everyone free from contracting or spreading the virus.
Mr. Hall explained that CPL officials and players will be in a biosecure bubble at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. The CPL official also spoke of testing protocols.
The tests are going to be conducted in a room at the St. Kitts Marriott designated for testing. They're going to be carried out by a team which is being put together by Dr. Hazel Laws, who is the Chief Medical Officer. Of course, before landing in St. Kitts, everyone will have to have a negative result from a PCR COVID-19 test. That's just standard procedure for anybody going anywhere in the world. But our testing protocol is on arrival, or certainly no more than 24 hours after arrival, on day 3, and again on day 7. Thereafter, persons will only be tested in the unfortunate event of someone showing signs of having contracted the virus or suspicion that they may have come into contact with someone who is infected, although that latter scenario is highly unlikely given the fact that we will be restricted to those 3 areas that I mentioned before. But that is the testing protocol which has been agreed, and which in fact is pretty much standard around the world for events of this nature.
The 2021 Hero Caribbean Premier League will be held in St. Kitts and Nevis from August 26th to September 15th at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. The schedule for the tournament was released Wednesday, which sees the Ghana Amazon Warriors taking on the Trinbago Knight Riders, opening the tournament at 10 a.m. and Barbados Tridents versus the home team St. Kitts Nevis Patriots at 7 p.m. I'm Andre Huey reporting for SKN Newsline. This has been the SK Newsline Newscast. For more news, you can log on to our website at www.sknewsline.com or visit our Facebook page. From all of us here at SK Newsline and at Channel 95, I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching.